Hi, so in the previous session, we already covered the top tips and advices that we can use to our advantage and get to secure a high band score in IELTS speaking section, right? So with the tips that I've already discussed below, I'm sure you'll be able to get a very good score. You can definitely score a 7+ band in that by using those tips. However, with that being said, I will also like to follow up with some of the common mistakes that candidates do make on regular basis, and we have to avoid them at all costs. Making a mistake in speaking exam can actually be quite detrimental to our overall score, because these are the huge red flag mistakes which we have to avoid at all costs. One mistake here and there can actually bring our whole band score from 7.58 to 6.56, and I'm sure you wouldn't want that, right? With that being said, let's just look at the mistakes that we have to avoid, right? The first common mistake that most of our candidates do is silence. What do I mean by that? If there is a difficult question, right, in the part 2 or part 3, if there's a difficult question that is being asked to you, most of the people take an extra couple of seconds to think about it, right? And that's when they start saying, like they use these mumbling voices, okay, yeah. You're taking these pauses and it's not putting a good overall impression on your speaking session, right? So you have to be smart about it. So if there's anything that you need a couple of seconds, you just need to think for a couple of seconds more, you can use filler sentences like, right, that's a very good question, let me see, right? That's one phrase that you can use to fill up your time, right? And another thing that you can say that I'm sorry, could you please repeat that again, right? So that's getting you extra seconds as well. But please, no matter what, don't say I do not understand the question, right? You can show that you've partly understood the question, so you can actually rectify the examiner by asking, so okay, so do you mean that this, but do not say that I do not understand. That puts a bad impression and that can cost you your marks, right? Silence is fine as long as it's for 1 or 2 seconds, but more than 5 seconds, that's actually a red flag in your application and that will work against you. Do not memorize. Now that is very important because this point brings us to the point number 4, which is answering a wrong question. So if you already have a pre-planted answer to the question which you don't even know what they're gonna ask, they can ask you very random questions from sports to hobbies to robots to traveling to public transport. They have a whole set of questions, right? And if you have a pre-planted answer to one question that fits all, that works against you terribly, right? That can bring your band score to actually less than 6, I'll say. So please do not memorize any question, right? Do not memorize any answer, and do not speak English as it's meant to be spoken. Do not speak written English. What I mean is, like, the examiners are trained to actually figure who's actually speaking English and who's just memorized a script and he's just trying to blabber it out. That's a very big red flag, and please do not fall into that. Do not memorize any questions. You can memorize a set of idioms or set of phrases or descriptive words that I've previously discussed. If you would like to know more information about that, please do get in touch. I can give you a set of idioms or descriptive words that you can commonly use in the first 5 or to 10 minutes of your exam, right? That will help you develop your confidence and it will not look scripted at all, right? Because that's the question that is being asked and you're already prepared with a very good idiom to give you a bonus advantage. Repeating questions. Now, I already discussed this previously in my previous session as well, is that if a question is being asked to you, what is your favorite sport? You just don't repeat the same question and say, my favorite sport is this. No, that's wrong. You have to paraphrase it, right? You have to paraphrase your question and you have to formulate an answer, making sure that you're not using the same sentence that is already being used in the question. So that is where many people go wrong, and that is actually one of the main reasons. Repeating question is actually one of the main reasons why people are not able to secure more than 6.5 in speaking, is because they want to see your command on the language, command on the vocabulary. If you can actually bring up 2-3 different words which means the same, that is what they want to know. It's a fairly simple exam, just please do not complicate it. I'm sure you can definitely do this. Being monotonous. Now this is another thing which looks quite scripted. If you're expressing different kinds of emotions, like if you're being sad, or if there's something that makes you happy, if there's something that surprises you, but if you're just using the same tone to go through the whole answer, that looks very scripted actually, and that comes under the category of do not memorize. So if you do not memorize, you will not have the same tone throughout your exam. That is also a very important tip. Please do not keep the same tone. Keep varying your tones. Keep varying your tone according to your emotions, and I'm sure you'll be able to crack this exam with a very high score. Please keep these mistakes in mind, and please do follow the tips. And if you do have any questions regarding the speaking component of the IELTS exam, please do follow us and comment and give us any doubts that you have, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible with it, right? All the very best for your speaking part of the exam. We'll be moving on to our next components in the IELTS exam. Thank you.